On the board again. Do you have the question, Mai?
Mm,
In many urban areas, traffic congestion is is becoming a serious problem. What are the okay the causes of this issue and what measures can be taken to solve it? Okay, so that was my question. As I remember, we discussed introduction, right? And main body one, right? Okay.
yes.
Well, and now let's keep going. So we discussed, do you have this, actually the file I sent you? Can you read the main body paragraph? Can you read it? If you have it.
I I couldn't see your.
Oh, why? I uploaded in my Google Drive. So why? You couldn't open it?
Which app you?
So I use for recording. So I upload the recording, every recording to my YouTube. But about files, everything that I need to share, like vocabulary or files or homework, I will upload them to my Google Drive. So just click on the link and you can see if you have Google Drive, you can easily open it. Okay, I think I have it here. So let me read. Okay. So let me see. Let me open it. I think it's okay. I have it here so I can read. Okay. Well, one of the most significant contributors to traffic congestion is the excessive use of private cars. As urban population continue to rise and public transport system remain inadequate and unreliable, many individuals opt to commute using their own vehicles. This not only leads to traffic jams during peak hours, but also increases air pollution and stress levels among commuters. For instance, in cities like, I remember that like Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi, the number of vehicles far exceeds and the road capacity, resulting in hours long traffic delay every day. So that was our main body. Okay, now we want to write discuss solution. So the second paragraph, okay, we need to suggest solution. Well, so what are the problems? So of course we have air pollution, so we have the number of cars, large number of cars in the street. So let's see. First, I want to ask you, what do you think? Do you have any solution? Just in, you don't need to say in aisles. We're using aisles for it. Just, give me. This is the problem. We have a lot of cars in the street. And of course, it causes like traffic jam, air pollution. So, what do you suggest?
Um, I suggest that we should we should um go outside by bike instead of car or motorbike.
Yes.
Um,
Very good. And how about, do you remember we discussed public transport, lack of public, adequate public transport? So, what do you think about this? You said bike. I definitely agree with you. Or sharing services. So, I definitely, but how about if we had, for example, if we had fast, clean alternatives like metro system, electric buses. So, wouldn't people use? Of course they would. Yeah, so we can invest in this area, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well, so we can start like this. A practical, so a useful, a practical solution to this problem is what? So we need to invest is to invest in and maybe upgrade public transportation. So if we have, for example, we can say by offering fast, clean, and fast, clean, and what? Ah, and efficient. This one is good. Um, like for example, alternatives such as metro, uh, metro or electric buses and or bikes, as you said. So actually, this way, government can encourage people to use to actually uh, use public transport and to leave their cars at home. Okay, so this is the first part, right? Do you agree with this? Now, do you think it's
Yes.
difficult? Do you think it's difficult? This part is difficult? Do you find it difficult?
Mm, I think it's easier than um paragraph one. The
Yeah,
body
because this
body
is
one.
solution. Yeah,
Yeah.
because this is solution. We already discussed the problem. Okay, well, let's see. We have some words here. Let's discuss them. Okay, the first one is, of course, you know the meaning of them, but it's not bad to underline and highlight them. The first one, practical, because you can use them in different essays. Not only this. Uh, Practical solution, useful answer. So it's maybe like it's useful solution to problem. And we have the next one that is efficient alternative. What is this? Actually is effective alternatives, better options. Better options, alternative option, efficient, like better, effective. So, and now we need an example. So here, as I told you, again, for the second main body, we need an example. So for example, let's see, I heard about Singapore. Yeah. So I think we
Mm.
can. So tell me, do you have in your country, do you use, so if yes, you can make an example. For example, Singapore, because I know that it's really clean, and we can say Singapore is an excellent example where, okay, where what actually where uh, an extensive, they're punctual and affordable. So we're an extensive, and I think Japan as well. I'm not sure. Punctual and cheap, affordable public transport system, okay, has um, significantly reduced traffic congestion. And of course, limiting car usage in city centers can further motivate people to use public. Additionally, introducing, for example, congestion charges. So you can say, additionally, introducing congestion charges and limiting car usage in the city center can further motivate people to use public transport. Okay. Well, so this is paragraph 2. Now let's talk about these words again. So, excellent, very good example. Excellent example means very good example. And now we have extensive, punctual, and affordable. Extensive means when, actually it's large. It covers wide area, so you can travel everywhere by public transport. So extensive means large and covering wide area. So you can easily travel everywhere by public transport. Punctual is on time. Punctual means on time. And affordable, not expensive. And then, of course, introducing congestion charges you need to pay. If you drive in busy areas, you need to pay fee. So this is congestion charge. So for example, some people do this. Okay, if you want to take your car everywhere, if you try, you drive in busy areas, you need to pay. So this is fee. So we can say congestion charge is traffic fee, the money that you pay for driving in busy areas, and limiting car usage. So, for example, they can reduce how often people use their own cars, for example, just 3 days a week. Okay, so this way they can motivate people to use public transport. This is our second paragraph. Okay. Okay,
Okay.
now you have the first paragraph, you have the second. It's your turn to write conclusion. For conclusion, The only thing that you need to do is to mention the main problem, the main reason, and what is the main reason why we have traffic jam, and then what can we do. Maybe we can improve public transport. Okay, and then you can write your conclusion. No matter, you can use basic words, my no problem at all. I will correct yours, but I want to see yours. Okay, now you start. Just you can type it in chat box so I can check it.
Can you get it?
Yeah? No? You send me? Okay, let me check it. Just give me a moment. I need to check it. Yeah. Say so you can say I liked it. In conclusion is really good. In conclusion, the actually serious problem of traffic congestion can be effectively addressed through sustainable alternatives such as environmentally friendly transport system. Your answer was good. Okay, appropriate for band, for example, 6 or 6.5. This one is exactly what you said, but appropriate for band 9. So, the worst problem, you know why I don't use the worst problem? This is writing, especially writing task 2. I can't use informal language. The worst problem about traffic is informal. So I can't. And can be solved. It's not enough here. Of course, it's easy, it's good, but it's not enough. For this actually essay, it remains like basic. Fantastic, again, too informal. So it's better not to use it. I can say sustainable. Okay, this one is better. What is a sustainable? Sustainable means long term, eco friendly solution. So sustainable is long term, eco friendly solution. This is sustainable. And effectively address means deal with in a successful way, effectively, successfully. So address means deal with. Address means deal with. So here is passive. And I liked environmentally friendly, transport system. I like this. That's one really good. Just, adding two words, two phrases, boost your score to band 9. Exactly the same as you said, but in a little bit different. Just a few words. If you know this word, you can easily use them. The next time when you want to say, for example, uh, I don't know, the worst, serious. When you want to say deal with or can be solved, it's better to say effectively addressed. Okay? Well, and now let's keep going. Okay, well, so we discussed this essay. Do you have any questions about this essay? This type of essay? So something that you didn't get?
Uh, can you tell me more about uh body one,
About what? Sorry, I didn't catch.
about body paragraph
Of
one?
course, about body paragraph 1. Okay, let's talk about the phrase paragraph. That is really important one. After introduction that you introduce the topic and paraphrase your question, now it's time to discuss the problem and the reason. So what is the question? In many urban areas, traffic congestion is becoming a serious problem. What are the causes? So what causes? So I think about it. I think that so what create traffic? Of course, we can say too many cars in the street. So this is the first reason. We know too many cars. So I take my paper, I write on it. Okay, so the first thing, what makes traffic? Okay, too many cars in the street. So just I noted. And then another, okay, so if we continue, if we keep having lots of cars in the street, what will happen? So we will have air pollution and maybe another problem. So we can discuss. Okay, now I need to add a few words, some advanced word to describe this actually number, too many number of cars, large number of cars. Okay, so first, I need to discuss my problem. So I say, okay, one of the most important factors, maybe causes, reason, contributors, significant contributors to traffic congestion is what? Is overuse of private cars. Okay? So, why people overuse? Why? Because urban population continue to increase. So, as urban population continue to increase, to rise, of course, and public transport remains maybe unreliable or not upgraded. Okay, many people tend to use their own cars because public transport is not modern, is not enough, it's not reliable. Okay, so of course overusing private cars leads to traffic jams, especially during peak hours when people go to work or go to school. And in addition, it leads to air pollution. Okay. And of course, yeah, maybe people get nervous staying for long, just hours in traffic. And then, okay, I discussed this is a problem. Of course, I can change it. Now, I want to give an example. This is good. Every paragraph is actually better to include like example. For instance, in some cities, like for example, Los Angeles, New York, okay, uh, the number of vehicles, especially in urban areas, so in city center, downtown, is increasing. And actually, this large number far exceed the road capacity. Okay, so we don't have enough space for the actually those cars. So what is the result? Long traffic, actually delays. So it makes people really stressed. This is my first paragraph, of course. So I use different words. I remember I used different words when I wrote first paragraph. As I told you, there are different phrases, different words, but totally you can discuss this way. Okay, so I discussed the problem here and the reason that causes, and after that I offer is suggest a solution. Okay, what is the solution? Okay, let's have better public transport so people, or maybe fine fee. If you want to drive in busy area, you should pay for it. So people don't. So they say, okay, I need to pay money, so it's better to use. So this way, I'm teaching and I'm maybe raising this, maybe this people awareness and this culture, so people will use. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, now I want you to do something. Okay, now you have this answer. Okay, you don't need to write it for IELTS. Just what you just wrote. Okay, in chat box you type a simple one. What do you think? Try to paraphrase what I said using simple words you don't need. Let me say something, Mai. These words, these phrases are advanced phrases for band 9. 7 is so easy. Now we want to focus on actually another form. We can write a 7. Actually, it's totally different. Just basic words, simple words, so you can easily get it. 6.57 is not. We are focusing on actually higher bands. So because of this, we have some different words and phrases. But if no, easily get band 6 or 6.5 or 7. It's not difficult. Okay, any other questions related to this part? So the only thing that you need to know is first, you need to have 4 paragraphs. Don't mix every detail. Like, for example, in paragraph 1, this and this and this. Divide them into 2 parts, first problem, then solution. In conclusion, again, mention what you discussed in paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. Okay?
Okay.
Well, and now, so the next actually writing that you sent me, I think it was cause and effect, right? It was cause and effect essay. Yeah.
Mm.
So now let me ask you why you started with, because we normally when we start writing, teaching writing, so we start with task 1, then one by one we discuss task 2. So why uh, you chose these two, like problem solution and cause and effect? Because we have opinion, advantage, disadvantage. So why did you choose?
I remember that I gave you uh writing task one
Yeah, as well.
oh,
Process
yeah,
diagram.
process.
Of course, process
Yeah.
is a good one. Well, okay. Now you can choose. Now we can, for example, okay, we discuss one essay, part 2. Now you know the structure is different. In part 1, we have totally different rules and words, phrases. I think it's better to discuss part 1, so maybe a one problem solution, process. Okay? We can do
Yeah.
this. Okay. Well, so let me find a good, if I can find it. Okay, just I need to do something. If I can upload what you sent, because I need to see. Just give me a moment.
Do you have Zello?
No,
Mm.
I don't. No, I don't.
Mm.
Yeah, just can you send it here? Share it.
I can't send this.
You can't? Okay, let me check. Let me check what you. So we have linear process. That is this one. We have the beginning. One, two, three, steps, 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 steps. Okay. And we have another end. For example, it ends here. Okay. For example, the process of producing something. This is linear because we have material, then steps, process, and the end, of course, is a material. So this is linear. The second one is another form that is like this. Start, and end again at the start point. So there are two different. Now let's have a look at this. Okay, let me see. What do you think about this one? You tell me. The diagram below shows the process of making cheese. Okay, so is it linear or circular?
Uh, this circular.
Okay, why do you think? Because of the form, the shape of it?
Mm, because uh, is it is repeat repeat.
Okay, so this is the process of making cheese. What is the start? Tell me the start point, the beginning.
Beginning is uh, draw draw milk.
Yeah, very good. So we have something. Then you can see a process. Okay, the end is again the raw milk. No, we have cheese. So producing something. Don't look at the form of it. Maybe you think that, okay, this is like this. So beginning and the end. No. Okay. And as you can see, we have the beginning and then some steps. First of all, what you need to do in process diagram. The first thing, of course, we will discuss the structure and the tenses that you need. But here, as you can see, we need to count the number of steps or stages. Let's see, we have raw milk and then, so we have okay, this process I can't read it, and then this one, okay, one, two, and then here three. Maybe you say that okay, this is the third stage, but why we have one, two, three? Sometimes some stages are more than are something like more than one, like they include different parts. Okay, and then, of course, cutting and this one. So, one, two, three, four, five. We have five stages here and six, seven, eight, nine. So, nine different stages. We need to discuss them one by one. But what is here, what's important? So, in actually part one, you know that word limit 150. So, of course, you can write more, but not a lot. As I told you, we have a word limit. It's better not to exceed that much. And then we have four paragraphs, my introduction, main bodies, but we don't have conclusion here. We have overview. Overview is the most important part of writing task one, and it directly affects the score. Why? because in your overview you give some general details. So of course you don't mention any detail like just giving specific detail, no, but you need to discuss in your overview the main trends, the main point, the important stages. Then you will discuss them one by one in your two main bodies. Okay, look at this. So, first of all, again, as usual, we need to paraphrase this question. The diagram below shows the process of making cheese. Okay, you tell me what word can be replaced by synonyms?
Um, uh, I think the process.
The
Oh,
process. How about show? That is the verb.
yeah. So,
Yeah. So the
mm,
diagram below, I can say, for example, this is the process diagram, the given diagram. Okay, so different phrases. Shows illustrate the process of making cheese. Sometimes in different actually diagrams, not in this one, we have year or we have, for example, a title. You can use the title. Here we don't have. And then, so this essay will discuss, okay, the process, the stages, different steps or stages of making cheese, yeah, of
yeah.
raw milk. Then, this is the first and your introduction. Of course, we need to write it because we have no more time here. So, just I want to discuss the most important point, and then we will write it together. So, as you can see, don't copy the question. So we paraphrase it. That is really easy. Just underline your keyword below diagram shows. Okay, so we can say shows. Illustrate is really good one. Demonstrate. So I have some verbs here. Let me give you some verbs. Illustrate, demonstrate, show. So they are the same. Normally we use illustrate or demonstrate when we want to paraphrase. So we use these two verbs. They're good verbs. Okay, now your overview, it's not more than 2 or 3 lines. One paragraph, but what you need to say, what you need to write, the number of steps, and the beginning and the end. Look, first I need to identify my beginning and the end. Okay, so what is the beginning? What is the end? So that's really easy. The number of stages you need to count. Okay, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the diagram, okay, consists of, for example, 9 different stages of making cheese that starts or begins, of course, different rates. Okay, with what? Moisturizing raw milk and ends in, for example, producing cheese. Okay, so this is your overview, not more detail, so you don't need detail. And after that, step by step, you discuss. Okay, we'll skip this part for now because we don't have time to write, but we will write it together. Okay, so but I am trying to read because I can't. I'm getting blind. I have poor eyesight,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm using, actually, I'm wearing contact lenses. It's not easy for me to see. Okay, I'm trying. No, I try to open it. So later, I try to open up my phone. Maybe I can see better. So here it's a little difficult to see. And then, of course, we will write it. We will write our essay together. I will send you the structure of this essay, some key points that you need to know. The next session we'll discuss it together, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Mai, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay, so have a good night and see you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.